Hey everyone, Dan Kocel here with Core Music. Welcome back to the channel. Today what we're going to do is we're going to bring Jesse Hernandez back to talk a little bit further about percussion. There's been a lot of good response to Jesse's videos that I've been doing with him. And I think today he is going to discuss a couple of instruments that we haven't touched on before. This is going to be the Cajon and the Bongos. So let's get into it with Jesse and see what he has to say about those instruments. And don't forget to hit the like button, ring the bell, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe, which will help my channel tremendously. Thank you so much.
Hey everybody, I'm back. How's everybody doing out there? I'd like to thank Dan for having me back again here today. It's a dreary day outside, so I'm just going to hang out here with you guys and talk a little bit about two instruments that I have with me tonight. I was going to bring a whole trap set, but I forgot. But anyway, I'm going to introduce to you two instruments. The one that I'm sitting on right here is called a Cajon. Cajon, C-A-J-O-N, not Cajon. Cajon. This basically is a drum that was pretty much derived either in there's a controversy, South America or Spain. And people use this when they want to do a lot of maybe acoustic sets to where you don't need a whole big drum set to get the atmosphere going. It sounds really good with an acoustic guitar, but I've incorporated this into any kind of type of music that I'm going to play or who I'm going to play with. I've played with electric guitar players and electric bass players and acoustic guitar players. I call this the lazy man's drum because all you got to do is bring the box. What this gives you is on the high part right here, there's a snare right behind here, and it gives you like a little snare sound if you listen to it. So that can be your snare drum. Now the lower part could be your bass drum. So if you listen to it, it's now you hear the sound right here, and it sounds pretty damn good. But you have a little hole in the back, which also makes it breathe and let the sound out. But what I do and other people do is you hook a mic up back there, and it'll project the sound even better to make it sound more like a drum, and it enhances the music immensely when you're doing I mean, I wouldn't recommend it for a 10, 20 piece band, but 2 or 3 people, it'll pretty much do the job. If you got it mic'd and coming out of the system, and it sounds pretty good. Of course, you can't compare it to a regular drum set, but if you like to play in places, or if you're a fan or just somebody out in the audience who likes to hear music but also would like to have a conversation while the music is playing, this is the kind of instrument that fits that mode. So anyway, what I do with this drum when I play is just I use it as a drum. You can use it as different things too, but I just do the bass and snare depending on what type of music it is. I can do just a regular beat, just a pop snare and the bass, and I'll just keep a beat like just a typical beat, you know. You get a mic under there. This part you could actually mess with the sound and get a nice big low thump sound, make it sound like a real bass, and get the snare. So when you start really getting into the music, and sometimes they'll throw something like, just go ahead and do something with it. You'll just do a beat. You can do a back beat. You know. Sometimes it says, go ahead. And then you just They also have electric cajons. Those have been messed with where you can actually have different kinds of sounds on it. You could have a cymbal sound, you can have a clap sound, you can have a yelling sound, you could have cymbals, timbales, congas, bongo sounds. And that is cool. You know, it can be quite entertaining. You might have at least maybe 30 or 40 variations of different sounds. You can get at least 10 or 12 different snare sounds. You can get at least 10 different bass sounds, like something that will vibrate, or some that'll just echo all the way through with one hit. You know, you can do anything with them. Those are fun. I didn't have a chance to bring it with me tonight, but this is the acoustic sound is probably the one that I prefer. These kind of drums, these electric drums, they're giving you basic sounds. There's ways where you can buy different electronic equipment to where you can get the exact snare sound you're looking for, or bass sound. But when I do shows, I'd rather just have the typical simple bass and snare sound. So if you guys want to do some shows, if you're interested in playing smaller shows where you don't want to carry all your drum sets, I would recommend one of these. It's called the Cajon. This one's by Pearl. A lot of different drum companies got involved in it now, and that make these products now. Sweetwater's got some cool ones. I was up there checking them out. There's some that actually look like a log. It's shaped like a log, and it's got a great sound, and there's just so many variations now. But anyway, if you guys ever want to play something simple, small job, you don't want to carry a lot of stuff, I recommend this, the Cajon. So, let me show you guys another instrument that I have here. Contrary to popular belief, if you guys saw my show before, I was playing these big drums. They are called congas. A lot of people, of course, you know, that's just because they're not really well informed about percussion instruments, call them bongos. But these are actually bongos. These are the real bongos. They're not the big ones. And I always try to explain that to people, and I can understand how they can get confused, but when you're actually playing this kind of instruments for over 40 years, it kind of gets to the point where, come on, man. Do you call a violin a cello? But anyway, these drums were actually derived, probably, that's also controversial, from the Congo in Africa, or but back then they just had just regular carved out wood that was actually covered. As you can see, these are hollow on the inside, and they just wrapped them up with they wrapped up some regular skins, usually any kind of hide, cow hide, pig hide, whatever, and they started using them as a percussion instrument. They also say it's even derived even further parts of Asia. I don't really know. It depends on who you want to believe. But it became popular in Afro-Cuban music, and the Cubans brought this up to its fame. And when I started getting into it, again, is when the Latin rock started coming into play, and I heard this instrument along with the congas and along with the timbales, and I just said, wow, this stuff is pretty cool. When I was young, my dad used to play all this Latin tropical music, and I would always hear the bongos. And I just started to incorporate it into some of the music that I do. There's real technical ways of playing this. When you're going to play strictly Latin music, where you're going to have to follow a clave, you know, as a one. And you just got to stay in the beat. Or you can do it the rock style or freelance style. But these are Latin percussion ones. You have here your hardware, where you can tighten them, screw them. Right here they got the nuts right here. They got the hooks that tighten, they press down. These skins are synthetic skins, which are very popular nowadays because if you use the actual skins that you get are usually cowhide or whatever, they tend to lose their tone depending on the weather. And if you're right in the middle of a show and it's humid outside, you start losing your tone. Or if it's too cold, they get too tight, and you got to keep messing with it. So a lot of us decided, let's just get the synthetic ones, and they pretty much keep their tone. They still change it a little bit depending on the weather, but you can just tweak them a little bit and it would do okay. So these are the Remo, they call them new skin, but they're both synthetic. I like to use them before when I was playing a lot, and you're breaking down. It's really got to be rough when you had to detune every drum that you had, like this one and the congas. And it just by the time you're done, it's 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, and you just start to try to figure out ways how you can do things faster to break down and everything. But anyway, you look for the tone that you're looking for. There's 2 different. This is just 2 drums in one. This is the low one and the high one. These are a very colorful instrument that really just fills in a lot of cool stuff. You can use it for the technical way, the Latin. If you're going to be playing Latin music, this is your drum. This is part of the drum. If you're going to be freelancing or just freestyling, it can be fun too. It's just make sure you don't lose the beat. These 2 different heads have names. This official name, if you guys remember, is called the hembra. And the high one, they call the macho. The macho and the hembra, that's the official name for these. A lot of people say the high and the low. But I thought I'd tell you guys the technical name for these things. So once you get your the tone that you want, this is generally played right there between your legs. Usually the high's on the left side, unless you're left-handed, and you turn around, and the low's on the right. You want to get comfortable here with these things. It can be kind of trying sometimes if you've got them on between your legs for a long time. It's good when you have your nuts and screws and your anchors not hitting on your knee. It'll take away any kind of pain that you might find. But you set them like this, and then you just start playing them. There's basic beats on there. The real famous one that everybody learns first, they call it the martillo. Martillo is hammer. They call it the hammer, and it's just a basic beat that everybody learns how to play. If you hear a lot of the typical music, that's what you're going to hear first, and it goes something like this. It goes 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're using your thumb to kind of get a different tone. You get different tones. If you notice, there's one tone, and you get a higher tone, and then you got your fingers to get another tone. So if you can hear the different tones, so then it's always a rim shot. You usually want to use probably the first third of your fingers to hit for one tone. If you can hear the volume on this one, or you can get right on the rim. And then you can muffle the sound with your thumb, get a higher pitch, and then with your fingers. So then you would just change the variations. So you could use your 3 fingers to play them. And then sometimes, depending, again, you probably remember what we talked about before, depending on the atmosphere of the room, if it's a small room or if it's a noisy room, you can get a lot of nice tones if you don't have to hit them hard. Sometimes I just use fingers. I just go. If you're playing in a louder room, hopefully when you do play in a louder room, you have a microphone. Microphones save your life, and they save your fingers' lives too. So, if you're going to be doing that all night, you're going to kill yourself, unless, you know, you've really got your fingers in pretty good shape. But this instrument is a beautiful filler for music that you're playing. I'm sure you guys heard them, and any kind of music that you've listened to, if you really pay attention, you'll hear it. You can hear the bongos in the background. They're just like a nice little fill-in. What you want to do is, if you're playing with a band and somebody's singing and you're using bongos, you're going to do a basic beat, and it's just like it's like a fill when you're playing drums too. Like you don't want to overplay while the guy's right in the middle of a song. You don't want to step on whatever they're doing. So it's like if somebody's singing a song, you just if there's a little pause in the verse. And if next time you have a chance to listen to, especially if you listen to like some Latin rock or actually anybody, the Beatles used bongos. If you listen to some of the Beatles music, they use the bongos a lot. They're just doing that, and they got them placed a little in the back, but you can. That's what I liked about some of the stuff that the Beatles did. They did use a lot of bongos. So next time you play your Beatle music, listen for them. But this is the bongo. People call them bongos, but if officially they're just called bongo, and super officially it's bongo. Bongo. Let me hear you say it.
Bongo.
So anyway, if you guys enjoy this instrument, there's a lot of different places you can buy them at. These are the Latin percussions. These are pretty much the top of the line. I was a good boy and I got this from Santa Claus. But they have other grades that are just as good. They sound just as nice. A lot of them do come from the same company, but Pearl makes them. I recommend, if you guys want to get some, if you really want to get a nice, cool, full sound and with some toughness in it, these are very, very durable. They're well crafted. They got great hardware on it. And you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
Now, Jesse, a couple times I've seen people on the stage with them actually on a stand.
Yes.
And you can put them on a stand. Is that what that center hole is for?
Yes.
Okay.
Depending on what stand you want to have. Now, what I use, I have 2 stands. I have a little stand and I have a big stand. Sometimes I play them standing up with my congas. Yeah. It's really cool. It's a strap. Mm-hmm. It's a strap. You put it over there and then you just clamp it down onto the stand. Okay. A lot of people, well, I use the stand a lot when I play, but usually I never bring these alone. I always have my congas and I have my bongos right here on the stand. But you'll see a lot of bands, especially Latin bands or salsa bands, they'll put it right here, because I guess it's a macho thing, I guess. Macho. And this is the macho. But anyway, this is my short little segment here, you guys. I hope you learned something from here. And then maybe next time I can show you different traps that I have with cowbells and guidos and claves. There's just so many different kind of things you could use while you're playing music to add color to music. What I always tell everybody, music is the cake, Percussion is the icing.
Hey everyone, I want to thank everyone for joining today, and I hope this was a good session for you. For those of you that are really interested in percussion, I think Jesse is a phenomenal teacher, and he gives a great tutorial about the instrument. Again, I'm going to say one more time, if you can go ahead and ring the bell and hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't subscribed to my channel. That would be great. And we'll get Jesse back in the future to be able to talk a little bit more about some other percussion instruments that he uses during some of his stage performances. So again, have a great day, and we'll be seeing you shortly. You take care. Bye-bye.